You've heard of Ponzi schemes. You've heard of crypto rug pulls. But in 2017, a woman named Cassandra Rowe pulled off what some call the cleanest white-collar crime in modern history. No fake coins, no obvious lies, just numbers and the illusion of credibility. She disappeared in 2021, leaving behind one dead accountant, $1.4 billion in vanished assets, and a digital trail that leads nowhere. Until now. I'm Detective Marcus Gray, and this is Case 76, The Vanishing CEO. Cassandra Rowe, 33, Harvard MBA, ex-Goldman Sachs analyst and founder of Zeneth Capital, a fintech startup that promised real-time asset compression using AI. Her pitch was clean. Banks were inefficient. AI could reduce overnight spreads. She raised $430 million in 14 months. The startup was everywhere. Forbes 30 under 30, TED Talks, Davos. And yet, not one of their client institutions had a public partnership. Not one press release had a third-party quote. Still, no one questioned her, because everyone wanted to believe. She dressed in monochrome suits, spoke softly, and never exaggerated. Everything about her radiated control. Investors described her as chillingly calm, a numbers oracle. Even journalists covering fintech trends began calling her the digital monk, but her power came not from charisma, but from the complexity no one dared to question. Zeneth's white papers were unreadable to most. Charts looked scientific, and her competitors' failures only made her shine brighter. The first red flag came from an intern. A 19-year-old data analyst flagged inconsistencies in API logs. Transaction times didn't match timestamps. Cassandra said it was a time zone bug. 2 months later, the intern was offered a full-time position with a non-disclosure agreement. By 2019, Zeneth was managing over $1.1 billion across synthetic portfolios. But the only person who had access to the back end? Cassandra. And a single external accountant, Daniel Price. Clients began asking for liquidity events. Zeneth would delay, saying the AI system was conducting risk hedging simulations. But payouts never happened. Meanwhile, Cassandra was still speaking at conferences with calm confidence. Daniel Price was found dead in his home in February 2021, 2 weeks after scheduling an urgent investor meeting. Officially, a heart attack, but the autopsy was delayed and erased. Emails between him and Cassandra vanished. Zeneth claimed server corruption, but a backup drive recovered by a private investigator told a different story. Cassandra had moved every dollar into shell accounts across 14 countries. What was strange was the note Daniel had left, scribbled on a legal pad under his desk. She made the lie feel like math. His family reported he'd become paranoid in the last month, putting tape over his webcam, unplugging his router at night. The day before his death, he mailed a sealed envelope to a lawyer in Zurich. It arrived empty. 3 days after Daniel's death, Cassandra boarded a private flight from New Jersey to Dubai under a different name. Facial recognition confirmed it, but no return flight was ever logged. Interpol couldn't trace her after Istanbul. In her Manhattan penthouse, investigators found a safe. Inside, one phone, one note, and one number, 888-204-3094. The phone was wiped. The note read, "Trust is the only real currency." But it wasn't just money she vanished with. It was identities. Several employees' Social Security numbers had been cloned. One executive found that his credit was maxed out in Singapore. Cassandra hadn't just stolen money, she had rewritten lives. Zeneth filed for bankruptcy. 41 investors, including pension funds, tech billionaires, and 3 celebrities, lost millions. Lawsuits flooded in. But no one could prove intent to defraud. Every transaction had legal paper trails. Every misstep? Algorithmic error. She hadn't taken the money illegally. She'd coded it into a legal black hole. And as of 2025, Cassandra Rowe remains at large. Some say she's dead. Others believe she's behind a new startup, under a new name. Strangely, 3 Zeneth employees died within months of the collapse. One from a fall, one from a car crash, one an apparent suicide. All 3 had been close to Cassandra in the early years. Coincidence or cleanup? Cassandra didn't just trick people. She tricked the system. She understood what most don't. People don't invest in numbers. They invest in stories. And her story was airtight. Every lie had a spreadsheet. Every crime had a signature. And the one thing no one could recover was trust. This was Case 76. Subscribe for more true financial crime stories brought to light.